Where are we?
We're right here.
Oh, there we are.
Told you, we're right here.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't find us. Hey everybody, my name is Christa.
Kevin.
And we are the husband and wife team behind Hump Day Happy Hour and LCRC Raceway.
That's well, I guess it's true, but I'm the husband that helps my wife with the Hump Day Happy Hour part, but we are the husband and wife team of LCRC. Yes.
I could not find us because I moved us, which is weird.
Long story short, Hump Day Happy Hour could not exist without the IT department, i.e. my wife. So those of you who tried to follow along 3-4 weeks ago when she was out of town, and I had the video going and everybody kept saying you have no sound, and I didn't know what to do, and then I had to phone a friend, i.e. my wife and Toby, and yeah, I'm a train wreck on this department without her. So
I can concur that, actually. I do agree with that sentiment. No, it's fine. We figure it out every week. Hey, listen, this sound thing is an ongoing thing. The consensus from the people was that we needed to move the mics back and turn the volume up. That they would be better if it was too loud than too quiet. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. I do have an earbud in to listen today. Can you just let me know in the comments? Do we sound okay?
So
Is it too loud, too quiet? Do you like it better when it's on my mouth? I don't know. It sounded horrible.
I'm watching the slider, and yours goes green, yellow, and then red. And every time I talk, it just goes solid red. There. How about that?
Listen, I will take Taylor as our... Taylor, you have just become the official producer of the LCRC Hump Day Happy Hour production. So from now on, I'm going to have... If you knew how many windows we have open right now, it doesn't matter. But we're going to add a little extra window that is just for Taylor. And any notes, Taylor DeLosa will just pop right up. Okay? He can...
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so hello to everyone.
Crap.
I want to jump...
Can I handle something real quick? I forgot. Brock, I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to call you guys today. I'm going to make a handwritten note right now. I will call you sometime tomorrow between 11 and 5. I promise.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to say hello to a couple friends in the comments. So far we have Taylor over there and Alex. Hello, Alex. There's Brock and P-Word and Tim Pence. And it's so good to have you guys all online. Thank you for hanging out with us. Good.
Wow.
Hi, Shane and Michelle.
I just saw the replay of me faking like we had no sound.
Oh, yeah.
My facial expressions are really weird when...
Yes.
Like I go... Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Next level.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to get rid of studio mode real quick. There we go. Thank you very much.
What did that change?
So studio mode inside of OBS, like if I have to make a change, like by the way, Hump Day Happy Hour logo wasn't in the corner of our screen. Oh. So I opened studio mode so I can make changes without them watching me make the changes.
It's like stealth mode.
Stealth mode. That's exactly what I call it.
That's why you're the head of IT.
Oh my gosh. There is my friend Robin Heil. Thank you for hanging out with us. And Dennis Brew. Hey, Dennis. P-Word says the volume's fine. Old folks have degraded hearing. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
Hi to Rob and Jody. Thank you guys all for hanging out. So I think we want to kick things off by just touching on our personal lives. Our entire Hump Day Happy Hour last week was kind of consumed with our personal issues of the building in which LCRC houses our hobby shop and business, and also our apartment and our current home.
No, that's not really correct. It was our current home 8 days ago.
Lost the roof last Tuesday, and then we have embarked on a amazing adventure.
Tim Long just commented, how's camping going? Yeah.
Between then and now. So Kevin and I were just chatting for a minute before we jumped on to say, I don't even remember what things were like last Wednesday to like now have a conversation about where it's come from there. But I just, the update is we are living in a camper.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. You don't even remember that we didn't do it Wednesday. We did it Thursday.
Yes, I did not remember that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But we're currently living in a camper. There's a water mitigation team that is actively working on drying out the upstairs of the building. There's a few rooms that are just not drying the way that we like, and so that's the drying process is continuing. But there's also a contents company on site, so they are currently packing up everything that's inside the house, and they are moving it to an off-site location in order to allow for the construction company to do what they have to do and start to rip out drywall and make sure that we don't have any mold or mildew or other problems.
In the content company, not only is just packing and moving, but anything that they label that needs cleaned or needs dried or whatever, they label it properly and take it back to their facility, and we'll unpackage it and clean it or dry it or whatever, and then store it until we're ready.
It's pretty cool. They have like specific rooms in the place that they'll take it back to. So like one could be just for drying. So if something's just wet but not dirty, but it just needs dried, and then other rooms are for them to process and clean it. They barcode every single item. They take pictures of everything before they take it. It is really a process, but it is also a very humbling process. If you currently have a collection of anything, I don't care what you collect, if it's an RC car collection, you will question your life choices when you have a contents company come in and start looking at all your things. It's a humbling. For me, I'm a person that I would love to have you come over to my home, but I would only like you to come over if I can like make sure the living room's cleaned up. You know, like I like a nice clean house when we have guests, and honestly, most of the time, I think I always like to keep a nice house.
You make us red up before the cleaning lady comes.
Absolutely.
You know, it's
so for me, like if somebody came over, I would never be like, "Hey, you want to see my junk drawer?" Because I do not want to show anyone my junk drawer. Like, listen, I have instructed Ryan to
tell you a junk drawer story after a bit
and clean out my junk drawer. Before, like if we die in a plane crash, she's going to come over and handle my junk drawer before. Well, here's the problem, people. You think you have a junk drawer. No, you don't. You have an attic, and that is a junk room. It's a room full of looking junk things.
That didn't hold a candle to our junk drawers. Our checkout lady, she knew more about where the batteries and tools were than I did.
Oh, no.
She's like, oh, the junk drawers. Yeah, I found them already. I already took care of them.
God love her. Anyway, so it's a very humbling process. You collect things your entire life, and it is just it is something. Brian said just the upstairs stuff or the hobby shop too. Most of the hobby shop is all fine. The only problem we're currently having is there's a couple ceilings in the shop area that have some moisture from the area upstairs. They're going to be able to mitigate that from above instead of tearing into the hobby shop at all. So everything downstairs is fine. We do have a dehumidifier running downstairs just to be on the safe side, but there is no indication that anything has happened downstairs. They are probing, so they have these like really cool little probes that have needles in them, and they stick that everywhere, in every door jamb, in every wall, in every ceiling, and they're not finding any evidence of moisture downstairs. So that's They
actually have two different meters that they use.
Yeah.
The one is like I don't want to say it's like a stud finder, but it's like it just skims the surface and gives you a moisture reading. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is like, I don't know, I want to call it like a taser. Like it has two probes out the front, like needles, like she was explaining, that like they can press down through the carpet, or it'll actually pinpoint through the linoleum or into something to give you a moisture reading. So
yeah,
they're very thorough. It's impressive.
It is. So But that's hard. There's lots of questions about like what's sentimental and what's not. And anyway, listen. You do rethink your life choices. You rethink what you hold on to. You rethink what's important. I've thrown away a lot of thank you cards and things that I thought were really important to keep, but also I've never looked back at. So when there was water damage to them, I wasn't even really trying to read them before I threw them away, and that was my sign that it was okay to let them go.
So, those of you in my actual iGo RC racing inner circle, you've surely heard the story, if not once, 50 times about my group's Christmas classic escapades, right? Mm. And one of the areas that got hit the hardest was, we call it the craft room, but it was originally built as my RC room upstairs. Yeah. And although like the benches and shelves were pretty consumed with Christa's crafts and Girl Scout stuff, a lot of my plaques and my body collection were still hanging on the wall. And one of the things I kind of had to let go of today were my Bumps and Jumps Christmas Classic plaques that were all swelled up. And I mean,
well, I had to let go of my first place trophy from Etchicani that had Matt on it.
No way.
It was completely took in the water. Yeah. So listen, I have pictures from that event. I have the memories. That plaque is not as important.
Well, that was the moral to my story, was that I don't even remember me and Zach and Cody, we were together here just not too terrible long ago, and we were just telling all the stories again. Like the actual physical stuff from that doesn't matter anymore. It was that memory. It doesn't live in that physical object. It lives in us, you know.
Do you remember that set of wine glasses that my Aunt Joyce had gotten me?
Yeah.
The painted ones?
Yes.
And it was this whole set. It came in a tin.
Yeah, and we broke one or two of them in the dishwasher.
And it was all these wine glasses and the special, what do they call those wine holders? Like a...
like a not a pitcher, but like a special.
Anyway, the thing you pour wine out of that's supposed to make it aerated. There's a special name for it. I don't know what it is. And then it also had like a serving tray. Anyway, it was an extensive set.
Yeah.
And then
expansive set or extensive set?
I didn't do that on purpose. But we used it. We used it on the regular basis, and then the glasses started breaking.
Decanter.
Thanks,
Tim.
That is the right word. Thank you, Tim. And I remember being so devastated that those glasses were breaking because this was so important. But you know what? It's like, I'm glad we used them, and I'm glad we broke them. Like, since we put them, there's 2 glasses that we've put away now.
Oh.
We should get those out, and we should break them. And not that we should break them on purpose, but we should break them. Get your stuff out and use it and break it. Because I remember now, I still will remember that set.
Yeah.
Even without the set.
Yeah, I can see the little grape painting thing on it right now.
It doesn't matter about the set. Use it and enjoy it every single day. So that's the lesson, and get rid of the things that you do not use and enjoy.
Do you use and enjoy me? Just asking.
We're just going to skip over that question. Hey, do you want to recap our last race? We had a race.
So, yeah.
I don't have a fancy button for that. I have upcoming events.
Are we going to...
I have Dish the Dirt.
Are we going to tell the truth about that today, or are we just going to go with it?
Well, you know what? Let's make a transition, and then we will tell the truth. We're going to call it our Dish to the Dirt, because we're going to dish the dirt about the Flashpoint season opener. Dishing the dirt.
Let's do it.
I wish you would help me like sing for each one of these things that we do.
Why? We would lose viewers.
Dish the dirt.
Dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
That's the best I got.
Okay, so let's dish the dirt on the Flashpoint season opener. The truth is...
We didn't remember any of it.
We had to do research.
So, listen, we usually, like, Monday after the race, we clean up the have-tos and try to screw off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then usually by Tuesday, we realize that we really sucked at screwing off Monday, so we sort of end up screwing off half of Tuesday.
Because we're actually exhausted, and we didn't really rest at all on Monday.
So then by Wednesday, when we actually come back to work, we get and those of you who don't know, we keep a folder for every event every year. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know when we started doing it, but I have folders back to, I don't know, I have 2012 fuel nats.
Yeah.
So anyway, we take the folder, and sometimes we even do it at lunch.
Yes. A lot of times Kevin and I will take a date day trip where we will get away from the shop, and then we try to take the moment to also be grateful for all the things. So that is the moment we'll open our folder over, a glass of wine at a fancy restaurant, and we will sit there and we will really
We'll whip out 2 clipboards and a couple folders, and people look at us like we're nuts, but whatever.
But we sit and we're like, can you believe that person did this? Or, oh my gosh, all those people came. And we just sit and we really bask in how grateful we are while doing a little work.
And complain about how tired and sore we are as well.
Of course, yeah. No, it's not all just good.
And I usually write down how many times I'd changed my socks for sawdust, and, how many people we had to pull out of the mud and whatever, but it ends up whatever. And usually the inside of the cover is completely full. And as you can see, there ain't a pen mark on it. Like, not how many entries. Like, the first thing I write on Sunday when I pull it out and start sticking my... Like, I keep the timetables. I make notes on those as the days go by, and I have all of those.
There's the track map with the original
names.
The original names.
I have the camper sheet with all the names on that. And I do have the porta pot sheet that was in here, but I had to pull that out for the guy on Thursday when he came to get a couple ones that he missed, which that's on a separate clipboard. But
so, honey, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Pull that right back out.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that race right now. So why don't we do what we usually do
right.
at the restaurant? Don't hit the mic. That is in my ear right now.
It was in my way. So sorry. I didn't do it on purpose.
So, to recap, we had how many entries, dear?
The Sunday main count was 351.
Yeah, so 351 is a record breaker for us for a season opener, which is amazing. Like, can I just say? Mm-hmm. You always do that when I just start to talk, and then I don't know if I'm supposed to talk or stop or whatever.
I forgot to look how many unique drivers. I only had the entries.
I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was also pretty amazing with the other events that were going on at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't just one event. There was also something in Georgia and Silver State.
Yeah, Silver State was a big one. We used to always talk that, like, those national events don't really affect us, but they so do.
They do. But the fact that didn't affect the entry count enough. Yeah. So are you going to write that down? Silver State and Georgia something. What's that called? Georgia Peach or something?
Yeah.
Was on the same weekend. While you're writing that down, I also want to add that how amazing it was that we could have, and to go back to the Slow is Fast RC podcast, which did have a wonderful recap, which, by the way, is how I did recon for this episode of Hump Day Happy Hour.
I wondered if you were going to fess up or not.
I watched that, and as it triggered things in my memory, I made notes of what that meant to me. So that is exactly how I got all my information. And can we move up that podcast to be before the first hump day after each event, because that will help me not to forget certain things. So that was actually super helpful. If you guys didn't listen, I didn't make it all the way through that podcast yet, but it's a good one. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, Sorry, I didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
I saw clips, right? That's the one we've seen clips of?
Yeah, and they're good clips.
Yeah.
We're just, if you're going to lean forward, we'll just have to move this back just a little bit.
Copy.
So, the other thing I want to say is how awesome it was that we had a record-breaking entry count considering what the weather was.
Again, I know this has happened several times before, but it's actively raining Friday night. Guys are pulling in that haven't been here yet.
That is like the
second best.
It's
the second best.
Best ego boost.
It's the second best.
What's the first?
The best is on Saturday morning. Hobby shop opens at 8. It's supposed to rain till 11, and guys are walking in and paying to sign up in the rain Saturday morning. That's the best.
I can tell you. I can even top it. It's when I opened a half an hour late because I knew we weren't going to race until probably noon. Mm-hmm. So I slept in an extra half hour, and they are mad because they want to be signed up and in this as soon as possible. Yeah. And I love it. I love it. I'm going to tell you, if you are here first thing Saturday morning, I am sorry for who I am at 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning. I have started this week. On Tuesday, I start the hard stuff. Like, hard doesn't start on Thursday or Friday.
Of a race week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, by Saturday morning at 6:30 in the morning, when I didn't really want to wake up, those first couple people who are knocking on the door to, like, hurry me up because you should be open by now, I am not the kindest person to them. I if I could improve that, I would.
Well, so I was impressed because the one person that caught my eye hounding me as to when they were going to open was Big Kush. One of the last people I expected to be early bird.
I know.
But hey.
Okay, I have to answer the Desperate Housewives podcast comments. So Taylor says, hope we didn't cut into Desperate Housewives podcast. The reason that he is bringing this up is because it's not Desperate Housewives, it's Real Housewives. And I turned off several of the Slowest Fast podcasts to turn on the 2 T's in a Pod.
Christa Jean.
No, listen, I only have a bandwidth of, I've figured it out. It's about an hour and a half. I can listen for an hour and a half, and at that point, I'm done.
Well okay.
So
all right.
at an hour and a half, I'm
fair.
like, I have to be entertained in a new way now.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you guys are really into it. No, like, when they start talking top 25 or, like, how they're going to set up their cars, I'm like, okay, can we, like, talk about the drama? Like, I want to hear about, anyway, I don't.
What was that?
I was going to use lingo, but I'm not going to use lingo on Hump Day Happy Hour. Yes, correct.
No,
yes.
That's still like
anyway, they're not.
I had to let go of one of them, by the way. That was painful.
Okay, so you did?
Yeah, the one that Dustin gave me. Actually, it was my first. It wasn't a 9800 rig. It's the one below that.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway. Got water damage.
Let's not focus on that. What were we talking about before this? That's how we did recon, and then. Yeah. So the people coming in the rain.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a nice person in the morning. That's what we're talking about.
No, I did not lose a canoe. I lost the paddleboard. No, I didn't lose a canoe. I lost a kayak. How about that?
We're gonna come up with our own
Anyway,
my gosh.
Stop doing that because your chances of getting sponsored by OGO are going down the river.
Okay, so back to me.
So, back to the race. When she says to me about, hey, we have to do the recap. Well, that's cool. I'll get my folder. Oh, crap. There's nothing in the folder. I'm like, well, I have a couple notes. Like, I have the timetables, and this is how intently she pays attention to Slowest Fast. So I said, hey, I think I need to make a correction from what Alex said about our sawdust in the track and getting it ready because He was
way more cocky about this. He was like, well, actually, it's a good thing that we're having Hump Day tonight because I need to correct Alex's comment. He said that we were racing at 12:30, and that was wrong. I said, well, actually, he said that there were cars on the track at 12:30, and that was absolutely correct because that's exactly when we were practicing. And that was so true.
And then I replayed it in my mind, and I thought, oh yeah, you're right. He did say cars making laps. Yeah.
That's right.
But we started racing at 1:14, and this is how exhausted I was at the end of the day. I'm usually like to the minute.
Yeah.
And my notes say finished 10 plus change. I don't even know what that means.
You know what they said on Slow is Fast is 10 plus a case of beer because you won a bet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I forgot to. You just reminded me.
Oh, don't worry. No one else has forgotten, dear.
Is that right? It was.
Yes.
He fessed up on the internet even.
Yes, he did.
Nice.
Hey, we need to rewind, though, because I want to go back to the social. So usually we always do an LCRC social at each event. Those are Friday nights. We do cornhole, so we sometimes have music. We always have some kind of music, but sometimes live music. And cornhole, and then we also have food truck on site. Friday social is exactly when the rain started for this whole event.
Social starts at 7:00. It started raining at 7:01.
Yeah, it was frustrating. We got the cornhole boards out for a minute, and we realized we had to put those away. We did still do a little yard sale, which is something we want to do more this year. So it was just like a couple tables full of stuff, and people were playing Let's Make a Deal, and
so
it was cool.
There is a good chance, obviously, pending weather and... I mean, I'm not gonna lie. With our personal situation going on, anything can change at any moment. So please don't hold me to this.
Yeah.
But I just said to Bob today that because we were cleaning out the craft room, which still had a few straggler RC stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I brought down the biggest armload of tackle box stuff you can imagine. And I also saw 2 other shelves full of tackle boxes, and I have bins. Like, I have enough tackle box stuff to fill all of the tables that were outside for yard sale.
Oh, for sure.
So I think if we can make Friday night yard sale happen or the carport this coming race, it's going to be tackle box
storage solutions.
Yeah.
I would love that. I mean, I think that our life has changed a bit about how we hang on to stuff, and I would love to see it go to people that need it, because the thing is that anyway, we always hang on to it thinking that there's somebody that could really use this, and it's time for us to pass those things on to the people that really need it. Anyway, I want to talk about the food that we had this weekend. So we had Mission's pizza, which was fantastic. Aaron was like a solo man show, and he rocked it. I couldn't believe how many pizzas he passed out.
He is not only the craziest preacher I know, he is hands down probably one of the craziest human beings I know.
And to be running that trailer and making all those pizzas by himself, but also having a smile on his face and having a good time. It was
happy about it.
Absurd, but also amazing. Pretty cool, and enjoyed them. Olivia's went through some French fries, and those French fries were as delicious as always.
Again, I don't know what they did Friday, and then what they had left over to start with Saturday, but I know they did tell me that they brought an additional 150 pounds of potatoes on Saturday, and they were sold out and had to close by between 7:30 and 8 o'clock.
I have a question, though. In my post today, I said you should not be eating Olivia's fries without the vinegar. Agree? Disagree?
Sure.
Oh, you're into the vinegar. I thought
fries should come standard with salt and vinegar.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Salt and vinegar on Olivia's fries? Like, I think especially Olivia's fries.
Yeah, fresh cut fries.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Cecily orders frozen fries everywhere.
Because they're not as good as Olivia's. Once you've had Olivia's, you can't just go to a restaurant and order fresh cut fries.
I will tell you, the type of potato they start out with does matter.
It does. Yeah. So Olivia's fries are really fantastic. And then you have to decide if you want the nacho cheese or not, which is hard.
Yeah, see.
Because if I want the vinegar, I don't want the cheese.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
I go back to my days as a kid growing up at Port Royal Speedway watching sprint cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the treat. You got the little boat, you know, with the fresh cut fries in it, and you put so much vinegar on it before you got the boat full eaten. The vinegar was running down the back of your hand, down your shirt sleeve.
And then, honestly, the vinegar, Samantha agrees, vinegar definitely, because the vinegar also becomes a catalyst for the way the salt is going to stick to your fry. You know, when you get a fry and you don't have any, you know, like it's not fresh out of the fryer, like when you get it out of the restaurant, the salt's not sticking to that. That vinegar, salt right to it. Oh, best fry ever. Better than any. Anyway, so Olivia's did a fantastic job, but we also had our first experience with Dwayne from, he was the Q by Do. They thought it was Boo on Slow's Fast or something. No. Boo. They thought Boo.
It's Dwayne Hart. So
yeah, his name's Dwayne. So it was
Brew by Q
by Do. Q by Do.
Yeah, okay.
Q by Do. Yeah. Steven Saychuk said they were so good I didn't need anything on them. No vinegar, no salt, no anything. Wow. That is saying something about a French fry. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
Tim said vinegar or hot sauce. Okay. I never have tried the hot sauce. Oh, Ron G says no salt. Oh, had to cut back. He wants all summer for Sal's. Okay, well that's fair enough. Yeah. So, but Dwayne's food was excellent. Yeah. We do have Dwayne coming back later this season, so excited to have him.
He's Mugen Challenge?
I think he is Mugen Challenge, but he's also another event. And when I say that, that's because I haven't actually booked him for Mugen Challenge yet, but I'm planning on that. But honestly, I'm going to try Jay-Z's this weekend, and then we're going to pick one. Okay. We're going to pick one meat provider for Mugen, because you don't want them to be competing.
When Sparky's come? I miss Leo.
Well, Sparky's is on the books for both June and July. But do you think I can get them to get a hold of me and let me know for sure? So I'm to the point of maybe having to ask for backups. Let me just tell you the truth.
Well, Leo.
Don't do that right now.
Why not?
Because we're on the internet and we have things to talk about. Put your phone away.
Okay, I'm writing it down then.
It's already on my list, honey. I handle this. Mm-hmm. I've been all over it. Thank you very much. So the food was really wonderful, but it was raining, so we didn't do the cornhole. And then we went to bed. You were up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do tents. So you come down and shush the water off the tents and keep everything going, even in the middle of the night on these weekends when there's rain.
Yeah, that one kind of sucked because, of course, I woke up. I think I set my alarm for 2. Right? I set my alarm for 2, and I woke up, jumped up, of course, shut the alarm off quick, so I tried not to wake you completely up, which probably did anyway, but got dressed, came down, and it was actively raining, but not pouring.
Yeah.
But I hadn't checked tents since, when did I come in, 10 or 11.
Yep.
So I came down, and I went out and shushed tents, which luckily I did, because we had a couple real big puddle holders, and no sooner got done shushing the last puddle, and I turned, I'm like, oh, good, and it started pouring again. Well, there's no sense me going back to bed, because the puddles are going to be right back in 10 minutes, so I came in the shop, sat down, of course, might as well have a beverage while I'm at it, and then it started slowing down rain again, so I went out and shushed puddles again, and I think I crawled back in bed at 3:15, 3:30, which, whatever, wasn't hateful.
Yeah.
And got up in the morning, and we must not have got a whole lot of rain after that, or somebody shushed puddles before I got up, because the puddles in the tents weren't too bad in the morning.
Yeah, the tent puddles were not bad. So you should make a note of whatever the thing is you're thinking about the event. But the tent puddles were not bad, but the rain continued in the morning. Originally, it had forecasted to be done by 9 a.m., that was waylaid, and then it was 10, and then finally it stopped at 11. So I have a video of what the track looked like at 11 a.m. that I want to show you guys, and Kevin and I can watch and comment in on what was going on at that time. Oh, I think it's this one. Are you ready, dear?
This is
an overhead shot of Saturday morning at 11 a.m. This is directly before the time when you say it's an all play and that it's time to get to work. So you see the water down there by what we call Harry's Corner. I mean, the standing water was pretty...
I have since ordered a new tactical tool to battle said areas. I can't wait to see it. We've been watching a lot of Home Improvement with Adeline, by the way, so I've got my inner Tim Allen going on.
He keeps doing that. It's kind of driving me nuts. Please stop doing that.
Anyway, sorry, that got a little loud.
Watch that one more time. That one puddle that's up there in the top left, that was literally almost a foot deep.
If you think we're good at what we do now, we're just getting better. You wait. We've figured a lot out over the years, and we are not stopping at where we are now. We're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to be more efficient and make things happen.
Well, I like that attitude, dear. That's a very good attitude. I will say that looking at this picture, it was not... most tracks would cancel at this point. Let's just be honest.
No, to be honest with you, we've had post-rain event track pictures look worse than that.
Of course we have.
The problem... Well, we had that one right there. Well, you didn't show them that one yet. The biggest problem with this track is that it was built fairly soft, meaning that it never had a lot of time to like harden up. Mm-hmm. And then with this amount of rain, the entire track was soft.
It was. So Kevin went out and started working on a couple things. I have a video that I'm working on. I will be honest, so especially at the beginning of the year, it's always my goal to have reels and things, video content. I have all of those video clips, but unfortunately, I have always edited those inside of Instagram. They do not like longer clips anymore. It just locks up and it will not load through. I've deleted the app, I've reinstalled it, I've done all the things, but I haven't been able to create a reel. I finally found a piece of software that's on my phone because honestly, I have to be able to do it from here because that's where I take all those little clips and all those little videos. I finally found a piece of software, so I'm hoping to put some video clips together for you to recap the season opener, even though it's a little bit, the time has passed now. I still want to highlight that, but there was a video at the very beginning of you guys cleaning out that main water. What do you call that? Grate?
It's the drain grate.
Yeah.
That runs like where everybody pulls their e-buggies off. We call it the equipment entrance to the track, but right there by the turn one bleachers. Well, my whole thing, if you want to start working on the track, you have to be able to walk onto the track. So, first thing we had to do was get the standing water off of that area, and the only way to do that was to pull that grate and clean it up. And Shane's always there. Like I just
I have good video.
I cannot be grateful enough for Shane's help. He's really good. Like he knows what I want, and he knows like the things like what not to do. Because I look at him and he's like, oh yeah, got it, and it's so good.
I will be honest, that's one of the hardest things in those moments because first of all, it's high pressure and
everyone wants to help. Everybody's eager.
The Blue Crew is an amazing part of LCRC, and we would not be where we were if all those volunteers didn't run out like they do. Yeah. It is amazing, but there are some standard rules that you have to follow in order to preserve the track condition, and it's really hard to keep your composure sometimes when someone's breaking one of those cardinal rules, because, we look at that dirt as our moneymaker, right? Like we're like, course. This is the most important thing. So it's really hard because people are literally volunteering. They're willing to come out there and get muddy. We have spoke so much about the people that came out there and the quality of the people that come out there. Like, they're the best people. Yeah. And for so many reasons. Like, we could really deep dive. We could do a whole thing on just this. But the thing is that you don't want to yell at them, but you also want to give them instruction to make them helpful. And maybe sometime we do, like, sit down and kind of put some parameters, and, like, we do one of these and tell them, hey, if you're coming to help, this is the thing you don't ever want to break, this rule.
Yeah, so we could do that. But my biggest problem with that book of instruction is that almost every weather event creates
something different.
A different chapter and a different
It has been different rules situation. Every single time. The biggest thing is you don't want to step on a soft spot without sawdust first. Yeah. You want to preserve as much of the track surface as you can.
Yeah, the golden rule that is don't ever step somewhere that doesn't have sawdust on it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Also, if the Slow is Fast podcast and other podcasts, everyone always says wood chips. They're not wood chips. It's sawdust.
It's not just sawdust. It's
magic.
It is kiln dried. Sometimes we get what they call dust, and sometimes we get what they call shavings. But it's kiln dried, special pine. Holy crap, magical stuff.
Okay, listen. It's been so long since I showed them before of what it was. They probably don't remember. But
we'll show it to them again.
No, I can't. I already shut it down. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
But here is when the Blue Crew was out there. You can see all the people out there volunteering and helping move that sawdust around. First of all, just amazing. What we generally will try to do is hit that sawdust on the drive line first, and then once it has soaked up some of the moisture, then we'll move it into those dead spaces where the marshals are going to be to help protect them and create a safe space there.
So when I walk the leaf blower around at the end, when I feel like, if you see me with a blower on my back, if there's no dust on the track, it's because I'm blowing water off. If there's dust on the track, it's because I now think that we're to the point to where we're soon ready to make laps. So when there's dust on the track and I'm making the walk around with the leaf blower, we're getting close, right? So usually I have a really hard time blowing the dust off of the track and onto the infield marshal areas without, like, just basically blowing it right back onto the next lane. We had so much dust on this track.
I don't ever remember having that much dust on one track.
Well, we blew 7/8 of an entire dump trailer load on one track, and
Do you remember doing that before?
No, we've dusted it. We've dusted a track. We've dusted the track, I think, 3 times and not used a full trailer load already.
Yeah.
And we almost used a full trailer load doing it once.
Yeah. There's a lot of dust, but honestly, it needed a lot of dust. I think that goes back to that stance you were talking about how it was a soft track and it really just took a lot of water into it. So, that's
in the...
Oh, Jason Mechanic just said, I thought to myself that was the most I'd ever seen come off a trailer load. Yeah. Me too. When they had started saying about conserving sawdust off of the trailer, I was like, where are they putting it? Because that blew my mind. But it did really need it. Yes, and the trailer was packed tight this time. Yes, it really was. There was a lot of sawdust.
Oh, yeah, because Shane actually got to use the conveyor to load it this time, so it would have sort of
packed it in.
Yeah, it would have packed in way better than normal. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the perfect time to again thank those people that came out and helped. Jason was one of them, but there was a ton of people that just ran out on the track. It never, first of all, that's right before their day of racing. They are paying money to come here and spend time with us, to race and
help us sort out the track before they can do it.
And instead of sitting with their buddies watching us and commenting on, I wonder why they do it like that. Wish they would do it. They jump out there on that track and they're helping. And you see the people that sit there and watch and wrench on their cars, and you see the people that are out there on the track. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever need something at 3 a.m., you're calling the people that show up on that track, because those are the kind of people that show up when you need them. And it means something.
Yeah, for sure.
Means something. So thank you to every single person that showed up there. But also, like, karma's going to get you back, because you guys are going to, like, you're the kind of people that deserve good things.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Why did you just kick me? Did you do that on purpose?
No, did I kick you?
Yes, you kicked me.
Sorry.
You thought I was saying something different when I said the karma's going to get you back thing. But I wasn't. I was saying that was a good thing. You gave me a kick in my shin and it hurt. Anyway, so that was that. And then we got racing. Practice started at 12:30.
Yeah, racing started at 1:14.
1:14, yeah. Pretty amazing. Are you going to carry the show at any point? Like, do I have to just do all the talking?
Yeah. So, it's your show. Like, what do you
No, it's not. Remember how I say at the beginning it's a husband and wife team? I even say husband first. Like, dear Lord. Like, at any point, can I get quiet and let you, like, take the reins for a minute?
Do I get 1 full minute?
Go.
So, guiltily, I actually, I haven't got to talk to Ed in the last week or so with everything we've had going on. I hope he's doing well. Last I spoke to him, he was actually back in Harrisburg getting the piece of bone put back in his skull from his initial surgery. And at the time, things were going well. I apologize for not catching up with him last week, but in his absence, we've been blessed with finding Alex Schultz at the end of last year as Ed's backup or second.
Yeah, but we have to be honest. Alex is doing a fantastic job. I was really impressed with Dave DiPasquale. I mean, like, talk about a sleeper.
FYI, I didn't get a full minute. Just so you know.
Well, I know. You were starting to, like, drag on.
Let me know when I can chime back in.
I was just helping your conversation. This is how you could help.
Okay.
Now you can, like, take it again.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Dave, remember? So I just said.
So I do remember Dave, and I didn't... I remember Dave from back at McCullough's when apparently Dave was really young, because Dave's still young now to me. So anyway,
did he have long hair then?
Of course, looked exactly the same.
No kidding.
Oh yeah. At least I remember. I don't ever remember seeing Dave that he didn't look like Dave. So anyway, Dave's last name is DiPasquale. Thank you very much. I do know that.
Yes.
So
I think that he was actually pointing out that I could say it.
Oh,
it is
whatever.
One thing I work really hard at. People who I sign up will know that I don't necessarily I know you, but I won't always remember your name when you walk up. Like, if you just walk up and tell me your name, even if Kevin Mumaw comes to sign up, I hope that Kevin walks up to the computer and he goes, "My name is Kevin Mumaw and my first class is." Like, even you, because when you're signing up so many people, you will not believe how that name just disappears.
So I'll put it in perspective. At Dean's, my little Exxon preferred customer card, I refuse to carry it. So they keep a Rolodex of, like, the popular customers with them in it. And when they get a new person at the counter that doesn't know me by name, when I walk up, they'll look at me and be like, do you have a card? I'm like, yeah, Muma. And they're like, okay. I'm like, Kevin. Oh, okay. You know, like I don't force them. Like, I know when they look at me weird, I say my name, and just it's like hard. if I walk up to sign up, and I'm thinking about you standing at the laptop, same as I do, not poking fun at you by any means. You're like, you can tell, like as a racer signing up, you can tell when they like.
No, I hide it. I hide it the best I can because I'm like, I know P Word's actual name. I just have to think of it. P Word, P Word, P Word.
Oh no, I get spirit fingers. I'm like, help me out. And they'll look at me like, what? I'm like, no, I know you drive a Techno. I know you pit in 201, but
I insist.
I had it.
I know. Anyway, when I first met Dave DePasquale,
oh yeah, that's right. That's where we started with this.
I insisted on knowing his name. He wanted to sign up as like Dave D or something because his last name was so hard. I was like, that's not hard. We got that. Because also, like, I don't like it when people say your name's too hard. Like, your name's not too hard. We'll figure it out. Right, Alex? We can figure it out. There's no name too hard.
So...
Well, we can make nicknames for people who like nicknames, but, like, if you like your last name and it's Muma, we can figure out how to say Muma.
Can I go off on a tangent?
Oh, I would love it.
So, just like a lot of other things that we talk about in this sport industry, career, whatever you want to call it, we do this for a living. Like, this is our career. This isn't a side hustle. This isn't this is our well-being, right? So, when you come and register for an event with us, we need to have your legal name.
There's a couple reasons.
Now, if you choose to not use that on the microphone or in public, okay. I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. We can put nicknames in or call you whatever you want during the public address racing. But when you come to register for the event, I have to have the name that's on your driver's license, like the name that's associated with your Social Security number. I don't need your Social Security number, but I need your legal name.
Yes.
There's a reason for that. A lot of us come to race by ourselves, and all of a sudden, if, I don't know, Superman gets hit with a car marshaling, and he doesn't have any friends here that really know him, and I don't know how to seek him out on the internet or find out who he is.
This is a perfect example. Rod Schumann used to go by Hot Rod.
Oh.
And Hot Rod was sleeping here all weekend long and had a medical emergency and had to go by ambulance. Now we had known him for a long time, so it was a different situation. But if it was a situation like that, we would not have had his name. If for some reason you were incapacitated where you couldn't tell us what your name was, we need to have a way to figure that out. So anyway, it's just for safety. It's important. You know, if you get hit with a nitro buggy to the head, we want to know what your name is. No. Anyway, but Alex did a wonderful job announcing over the weekend.
Comments, right.
Dave was a big help, but also Alex Burns. How about Alex Burns coming on the mic a little bit?
Well, that's a good thing because, Schultz is not coming till Thursday evening or Friday morning, I forget. Long story short, he's not going to be here for practice on Thursday. Burns, you're up. So,
I think he's ready. So that was cool.
Yeah. If he's not ready, he was really good at faking it.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah.
So, but Alex Schultz did a really wonderful job. I was really proud of him. I made sure to let him know. I know it was a lot of pressure for him. He didn't seem quite himself when he first arrived because I feel like he was a little nervous over the extra responsibilities.
To be fair, even and I hope you'll admit this after I explain it. It doesn't matter whether it's my job, your job, the race director, or the whatever. The season opener is always, you're a little like, oh crap, I haven't done this in 6 months. Like, there's new names to learn. There's new, like, And
I forget how to do this thing.
Well, and he worked with Ed 2 races at the end of the year, and
but he's fairly new to LCRC, period.
Well, no, the first time he'd ever been here was Cancer Race, and then he came back to Halloween just because he was going to get to help out again.
Right.
And
that's what I mean. He's pretty new to LCRC, period. Late to the game, I'll tell you.
Listen, I'm
listening. You said listen.
I can't wait till Ed gets back on his feet and can come join us again.
Yeah. This isn't really about Ed.
No, it's not. But I'm thinking about Ed, and I'm anxious for him to get back on his feet. I'm very grateful to have had Alex kind of
be able to
fall in our lap last fall, and
it's definitely a God's timing thing that Alex found us when he did, and that otherwise I can't imagine what we would be doing. But I know that Ed is also glad that there is somebody in place so that we're not high and dry while he's in this situation.
Him and I have talked about it. And,
I mean, listen, I just want to. It's not taking anything from Ed to tell Alex that Alex did a wonderful job. That's it, everyone is happy, including Ed, that Alex is doing a wonderful job.
Of course,
really, really great for him. And honestly, I want one of the things that you'll see when you listen to the podcast is how excited he is about announcing. And I love that. He and I have really a joint vision in how we see the broadcast value of RC. I always come back to this idea of,
Ed, this is the one area. I'm sorry, I'm butting in because you won't let me speak unless I do right now. Ed, this is one area where these kids have us smoked because they're into all this stuff that you and I fight against all the time. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Your minute's not up yet.
Oh, I didn't have a minute that time.
Anyway, the way I explained it to the Chamber of Commerce group when they were here was like this. RC racing is boring. Until you have more information. Until you know their story. If you're just watching those cars go around that track, it is boring. Mm-hmm. But if you know that these two have been battling it out all season long, it's the best race ever. If you know that this guy started in the F main and now we're up to the C main and he is now on the bump spot for the B main, this is the best. If you don't stop with this friggin' valid stuff.
But it's awesome.
If you know now that he is bumping up through from the bottom.
I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Now it's the most exciting race you watched.
Yeah.
Information is what takes RC racing from a hobby to something that you can enjoy as an outsider. And if you do not have the hype, if you don't have the story, if you don't have that thing that makes you want to watch the next race or wonder what's going to happen at the next race, then there's no next race. It doesn't matter. That's why the series is so important. That's why the point series is so important. Because we've just laid a little bit of groundwork. But you know what? Somebody could show up at the next race that didn't even come to the opener and could still win the points. Could come from behind and come up from the bottom and do it.
Because we're giving them one drop?
No, they don't get a drop. But it doesn't matter. You can still...
I thought no drops. Yeah.
There's no drops.
So... the moisture mitigation team working on our life, the lead guy that has been here so far, we came downstairs and in the shop and out in the store checking some things out and talking things over, and he said we were pretty much done with our professional conversation about the storm situation at that moment, and he said, "Hey, man, I gotta ask some things." He's like, I've been looking around here and this thing's intriguing me. He starts asking me about the toy car bit and the racing and all the things, and And I explained to him a little bit. Like, I get this question all the time.
Of course.
And, you know, I kind of know, like, the blanket responses to just, are you just kind of stroking me, or do you really want to know, or are you really interested or not?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was checking all the boxes, and I said, well, you know, we had 351 entries the last race, you know, like 6 days ago. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you know, I know you haven't really seen the entire facility, but, like, there's, like, 1.5 miles of road and, you know, 46 RV outlets. And wow. And, like, I could tell he was either really good at faking it, or he was into it. So I pulled up one of the, like, Mugen Challenge overheads on my phone, and he was like, you know, taken back from it, and I don't remember how I got to it, but I'm gonna cut part of the story out.
Wow.
So I said about at this last race, we even had down to an F main in one of the classes. And he was like, you what? And I'm like, well, yeah, we take 11 and bump 2. I said, it's not like sprint cars where they fit 24, so they take 18 or 20 and bump 4 or 6. Like, we take 11 and bump 2, and we had down to an F main. And he's like, holy crap. Like, so you're telling me that if I was that bad in qualifying, I could go, you know, F, E, D, C, B, A? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, technically you could. And he's like, so if I paid the same amount to enter as the guy that made the A, so on Sunday I'd get to race F, E, D, C, B. I could race 6 times on Sunday, and that guy that made the main, like, he doesn't get other special practices or nothing. I'm like,
what was Dave's name?
Nope.
What was the England guy's name that would do that? Would always show up just on Sunday?
Oh
my God. It was David, right? David. Oh, if Mechanic's still on, he'll remember. I'm friends with him on the socials. Anyway, okay. Well,
crap.
Gibson.
David Gibson.
Yeah, David Gibson. So he would always just show up on Sunday, and he played the bump game. And honestly, sometimes the rest of us would look at him like, we're idiots. Why are we not doing that? Because that was fun. It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to be part of.
He loved it.
So part of the podcast I was listening to was talking about the excitement of announcing, and I'm going to have to become an announcer, because I'm going to tell you, I really think...
Who's going to run the camera on Sunday?
The D main is the most exciting. Like, I want to use my voice up on the D main.
So when we build... Oh, never mind. You'll have the ability to run the camera and announce at the same time. She can do it.
Oh, my God.
We're going to make that happen.
Yeah, he was better the shorter time he was there. Yeah, Jason, he totally was. Yeah, he never showed up before the second qualifier.
Gibson, yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Gibson. Yeah, so anyway, it was some really great racing. Hey, anything else you want to talk about? It is actually after 9 o'clock.
Henry, thanks for your help, too. I know you're always there, and you're always the guy that pops out of the shadows and helps me drag the hose at midnight when I'm doing it by myself. So yeah, thanks to you for sure.
There's lots of people. We didn't mention names on purpose, because if we did, we would forget people, and we can't do that. So we
well, listen,
I just, like, as far as a recap, I know that there was a couple things that you wanted to touch on.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. So I'm just going to literally read a couple things. Obviously, we did we broke a season opener entry record, which is great. As far as the timetable stuff goes, this is a feather in Alex and Dave's cap. You guys were spot on, and you didn't quite gain a couple minutes like Ed does, but you held the timetable, and things worked out great there. Really proud of you guys for that. Racer faith is one thing that I wrote, which we're going to talk on the the grace and faith thing in the future a little more, but the racers pulling in the rain and signing up in the rain, and out of 351 entries, we had one guy that wanted his money back and didn't want to race because of the rain.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Can I tell a story on that real quick?
I have one more thing to say, and then you can have the mic. So, Tiny Folsom. I can't tell you how many people have commented to me about the most amazing Star Spangled Banner ever.
It really was.
National anthem. I just, man, so blessed to have these people in our life. And I know there are stadiums and sporting events across the country that would and should pay full tilt money to you to perform like you do here for us on a volunteer basis.
That was amazing. A wonderful...
Yeah, for sure. Hats off to you, buddy.
Yeah, really amazing. I hope, obviously, Tiny is welcome to sing the national anthem here anytime he is here. That was a very special rendition and just really fantastic. I want to thank Toby for all the coverage. For sure. Toby drives me nuts.
Toby drives me nuts. Actually, I drive Toby nuts. That's why he drives you nuts. And I'm also right.
Toby is one of my best friends in the whole world. Like, Toby and I connect on a level, okay? He is also the most annoying person I know. I just could kill him and love him at the same time. But it's because he's so passionate about this stuff. And I get annoyed with him because I care about him as a person. So I'm like, why are you spending another $1 million to make this better? Like, you just spent $1 million 5 minutes ago. He cares so much about the coverage. And you guys, like, I'm going to tell you, he is 90-some people away from having enough people subscribing to 46RC for that YouTube. To monetize.
Right. YouTube.
I'm sorry. I said 46RC. I meant YouTube. To the YouTube channel.
For 46RC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting at the bar next time, like, get the person sitting next to you to subscribe. We need like 96 people.
Is that right?
And then he can make money off of the hours, and we don't have to pay money. YouTube will pay him money to have people just watch the coverage. Like, I want to do this for him because he's giving so much back, and he just does it out of his pocket. It's not about money for him, and he's been doing that since he started. And so I just really feel like the least our community could do is get him to 1,000. He's got the watch hours to monetize. And listen, it's not a bunch of money, okay? If you think that YouTube makes a bunch of money, no. If it really did, we would all be YouTube.
It's cents.
It is. It's very, very, very little bit of money. But if we start him now, then every hour we watch all season will get him a little bit. And it won't even cover the equipment that he has bought to only use here. But, like, I just feel like we really owe that to Toby. So if you guys, give a push, get your grandma to subscribe. She doesn't look at her YouTube anyway. Just, subscribe it to 46RC and ask your mom to do it and whatever.
Yeah, and to be honest, in full faith, he is protected by up above because his scaffolding structured little media center that was 40 feet from the roof that came off. Yeah, it's untouched and still standing strong.
Totally fine.
Yeah, didn't even tear the banner.
I have one last thing I want to touch upon, and then we will call it a night, which goes back to your racer faith. I had a racer, and it was their first time ever here, and when it started raining, he came back into the shop and asked for his money back. And when I said, okay, of course, we haven't raced yet, of course you can have your money back.
As long as the first heat didn't go off, you can have it.
But I said, can I ask why or something? And he said, well, because you're not going to race. And I said, oh yes, we are definitely going to race.
Yeah.
And he said,
Yeah. No, you're not.
It was more tactful than that, but it was something like, don't really think so. Yeah, like, you're sweet, honey, but yeah, like, you haven't seen it outside. It's really wet. I was pretty upset at the time because I have this thing I put a lot of stock in, which is I really try to not lie. So if I tell you with certainty, oh no, we're going to get this race in, I would never say that if I didn't feel like that. If I thought there was a chance, even a chance, I'd say, hey, we're going to play it by ear. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry. But I'm never going to say, oh no,
we're getting her in.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
So I was immediately, my ego was bruised, like, oh, I told you we would do it. How dare you not believe us? It took a few hours or maybe a half a day. And
yeah, you were pretty hurt by it.
I really was.
Yeah,
it really hurt my feelings. Yeah. But later in the day, I realized what a crazy, amazing thing it is that we had one person say that. When we started this and we would say we could do that, it wasn't one person. It was everyone. If there was 351 people here, 351 people would be like, you can't pull this off. Have you seen it outside?
That's not true, because back then I was one or two of the entries, so it would have been 347.
Yeah. So.
But what would be... So 1 out of every 100 would be 1%. So it would be 1/3%. It would be less than 1/3%. Like... 0.2 something.
It doesn't matter, but how lucky are we?
Insane.
How lucky are we? Less than 1%.
More people than that don't like McDonald's French fries.
That we can pull this off. Yeah. So I went from being hurt to being really, really grateful. I remember there was only one race I ever remember that we had to cancel, and I had to sit here and issue refunds, and that was a really hard event.
That's been a hot minute.
It's been a really long time. It was the Big One race where we handed out the white T-shirts with the Big One logo on it. Do you remember?
I've forgotten until you just said that.
It was a cash race.
Yep.
And not only had we put the money into the T-shirts, which we gave out with entries. Mm-hmm. So they already had their T-shirts. Mm-hmm. But then we had to call the race. We couldn't get it in. Mm-hmm. And we had already spent the money on the porta pots, and we already had the trash because they had already been here for a couple days. And the overhead costs.
And you stood in the middle of the store giving out the rest of the T-shirts just to make everybody happy.
Yeah. But we already had all the overhead costs, and then we gave back all their money. Mm-hmm. And there was like a few. There was a handful, maybe 5 guys that said, just keep the money. You guys have done enough or whatever. And I remember thinking, like, I couldn't imagine them being so generous. Like, that was so... Like, we had so much to cover at that moment, but we did not want anyone to feel guilty because they didn't get what they paid for. We wanted them to take their money back. Yeah. But feeling so grateful because I didn't know how we would pay the bills next week, And just to think about it now that people will show up in the rain. Like, that's pretty amazing. Ron says he has one of those T-shirts.
It's funny. So in the family disaster situation last week, there's still a box of those shirts up in storage that got wrecked. Mm-hmm. So I had a little flashback to that this week. Yeah. But, yeah.
Hey, I think that's it for us tonight. We ran an entire 16 minutes late.
Does that mean, do we get 16 minutes off the next one? That's not how this works, is it?
No.
Yeah.
It's when it's good. It keeps going.
We didn't even get product spotlights.
We didn't talk about anything. Yeah, we should just probably start doing this every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just do it every night.
Every night?
Yeah, because I want to tell them about all the Kyosho parts. And by the way, we have all this techno stuff coming. I didn't even get to talk about that. You had product spotlight that we didn't get to talk about. The Phone Buster's coming back in. The Adam Drake. We haven't talked about any of it.
$6 million worth of Mugen and Flashpoint stuff coming.
I know. So we'll just have to cover it the next time.
Order.
I will kill you.
Wait
and
until
we live in a small camper.
You're too close to the mic. You're making a red line.
I know.
Yeah, and Max the dog is back as of today.
Yes, we have our Max the dog back.
Here's the thing. I want you guys to spend, well, those of you who don't come 4 days early, those of you who show up Thursday to Friday, I can't wait for you to watch Hump Day next week and be like, oh, so how'd your first week with Max the dog go in the camper? Who snores worse than Kevin does, who Christa required to get a CPAP machine to sleep next to. Max now sleeps 8 feet from our bed. I can't wait to hear what the vet says when she calls and says, do they make CPAP machines for Frenchies? We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Stay tuned.
I think it'll be fine. I think when he lays up and down in the cage the way that he does not snore that bad.
But you can't elbow him through the cage and make him roll over.
You know what? You're right. I think we ought to kick you out of the bed and put Max in there so I can elbow him when he's snoring to get him to roll over.
And he'll still keep
and
snoring.
You can
go in the other camper next door.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Also, no, you're so right. Taylor said about bulldog farts. Oh my gosh, bulldog farts in the camper. Oh, I am a little nervous about that. He's out there right now.
Yeah. We hope at least.
No, his noises don't always come from the front end. They sometimes come from the... Okay,
how come you're laughing at those guys' dog jokes and not mine?
They're funny.
Yeah.
Okay, bye guys. Have a great night. We appreciate you.
Y'all.
Thank you. Oh, one more thing. Thank you for all the orders for LCRC Raceway.
Oh, yeah.
And
the gifts and support. We've done a lot of...
we really feel the love from our entire community.
Yeah. I mean, from you guys, like from our RC friends and everyone to our mail lady, the UPS guy called, like...
it's been really amazing and humbling, and we are just really, really lucky to have such a wonderful community of people. Sure. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.